In a deal worth over $500 million, Barbados is set to open its first Sandals resort in Christchurch and its first beaches resort in St. Peter. Government has officially signed a memorandum of understanding with Sandals Resorts Limited in an agreement that will see the existing Ammon property signed over in a lease arrangement to become a beaches resort. However, Couples Resort in Dover, formerly Casuarina, has been purchased outright by Sandals, and official branding should get started by November the 6th. This was all revealed this afternoon at a press conference jointly hosted by Minister of Finance Chris Sinclair and Minister of Tourism Richard Seeley, and attended by the chairman of Sandals, Gordon Butch Stewart.
Bottom line is that it will see the advent of two Sandals properties operating in Barbados. One under the Sandals brand, the traditional brand, the couples only resort, and that will be the site in Dover where Casuarina once operated. That will be rebranded a Sandals resort, and that will be happening, as a matter of fact, in weeks.
Mr. Seeley says approximately 1,500 people will be employed between the two resorts, which will collectively offer 800 rooms. He says the introduction of the Sandals brand in Barbados will also see an impact on over 130,000 arrivals in a year, as the resorts will significantly boost Barbados North American arrivals.
With respect to the other property, the Ammon Village, which the government has agreed to buy from the Neil and Massey Group out of Trinidad, that will be branded a beaches resort, which is the other brand, which is of course known as a family resort. And we are quite excited to have both of these properties coming to Barbados at this time. It is a tremendous boost for our tourism our tourism industry at this time.
Meanwhile, Mr. Stewart says he loves Barbados and has always regretted that the Paradise sale did not materialize as they had planned years ago. He says the two resorts may not be the last hotel investments by Sandals in Barbados.
We're interested in two things. One, expansion. An expansion, upgrading, refining, sandalizing means those things with the existing hotel. And if anything good comes up, or what we like, we're on the hunt.
Well, fresh on the heels of that announcement of Sandals in Barbados, another major revelation could soon be forthcoming in relation to the multi-million-dollar Four Seasons project. Both Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs Chris Sinclair and Minister of Tourism and International Transport Richard Seeley gave broad hints at the press conference. While remaining mostly tight-lipped, the ministers advised the media to stay tuned for more on the Four Seasons project, with an announcement as major as the Sandals development. Well, improvements are underway at the Emergency Ambulance Service. The assurance from Director of Support Services at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Louise Bobb. She says the changes include a fleet replacement program with 4 additional ambulances being added by year-end.
We have devised a conceptual framework for further decentralization of our services out from central headquarters to Arch Hall, and there are some opportunities that we could take advantage of with respect to facilities now in St. John and future facilities that may come on board in St. Philip, according to government's plans. But all of that is in discussion with the Ministry of Health.
Ms. Bobb has also disclosed that there has been a decline in call responses in the last year, with many people using private transport to get to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital for treatment.
We had about 31,000 persons who use their own transportation to access A&E, and private ambulances, we used about 418 persons use private. Had private ambulances used for outsourcing.
Now to news from the House. Parliament continued debate today on the Cultural Industries Bill, and during that debate, Minister of Industry, International Business, Commerce and Small Business Development, Donville Innes, said the cultural industries development legislation is poised to transform the Barbadian economy. He says the Democratic Labour Party has been busy at work developing the various industries, including craft and music.
If there's one difference between the Democratic Labour Party and the Barbadian Labour Party in terms of the development of a cultural and music industry in Barbados, is that whilst others have talked, we have delivered. We have started providing a sort of environment that allows these individuals to achieve their full potential. There are more Barbadian artists performing on the global circuit today than there were 14 years ago. Only a few weeks ago, there was a group of entertainers who went down to Brazil as part of a government-led political and commercial mission. And I'm advised that they're on the cups of London engagements down there to perform.
A government minister has cautioned against accepting abnormal types of behavior as culture. Minister of the Environment and Drainage, Dr. Dennis Lowe, sounded a warning during his contribution on the second reading of the Cultural Industries Development Bill in Parliament.
And very often, those persons who tend to exhibit abnormal cultural patterns are persons who have lost sight of our cultural network of norms. Persons who at times become so self-absorbed that they seek to redefine a society around themselves and not give adherence to those patterns of living and those patterns of doing business that would have been solidified across generations.
Dr. Lowe says the bill offers another avenue through which the Barbadian identity can be expressed and create economic opportunities for citizens. Well, opposition St. Michael East MP Trevor Prescott voiced his support for the bill. He too is concerned that some Barbadians are grappling with what is Barbadian culture.
I've heard somebody say, what Barbadian culture what? I'm talking about people who, that's why I talk about Afro-Saxon miseducation. What Barbadian culture, what Barbadians don't have any culture. And if you haven't heard that, you're really not Barbadian. They say that we copy everything. That if Jamaica speaks in a specific way, we want to do it. If the Americans speak in a specific way, we want to do it.
Education Minister Ronald Jones has lamented the lack of an established publishing house in Barbados. He told the House this morning, as debate continued on the Cultural Industries Bill, that the island has had many talented writers who have had to go outside to get their works published.
I do not know who will significantly bell the cat in Barbados so that the talents of Barbadian writers can more and more come to the fore. I know today you can go into the e-book publishing, the e-book printing, which makes it a lot easier for persons to get their work out to the public. I must confess, Madam Deputy Speaker, that I am more comfortable with the feel of the book still in my hands.
Well, the Education Minister has been accused of not supporting the rights of teachers' unions. That accusation from President of the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union, Marianne Redmond. She was addressing the members of the union at Solidarity House as part of Teachers' Professional Day.
The Minister's comments are cause for concern to teacher unions on a number of levels and for a number of reasons. Some of these range from his blatant disregard for the constitutional rights of Barbadians to freedom of association, to the disregard of the ILO Conventions 87 and 98, which deal with the freedom of association and the right to organize and collective bargaining.
Ms. Redmond also says that there are issues within the Ministry of Education that have been making it difficult for union members to work. Teachers are not properly acknowledged as they have been forced to work in difficult conditions.
There is increasing work for the union to do. Much of it coming because of the inefficiency of what goes on at the Ministry of Education. Much of it coming because of the leadership styles of the principals in this school. And so much of it related to work that we have to do at the ministry because we are a union.
Super deals continue at Brankers. This week's super deal, 18 by 18 ceramic floor tiles, $4.49 each. Yes, just $4.49 for a range of the latest designs in 18 by 18 floor tiles. It's deals for days, all at Brankers. Don't miss this week's super deal. Brankers on Fontebelle, where affordable luxury lives.
Prison officials have been assured of government's continued assistance. It has come from Attorney General and Minister of Home Affairs Adriel Brathwaite at the 6th Annual Superintendent's Parade at Her Majesty's Prison at Dodds.
Wherever I can be of assistance, that I will be. I've always tried to champion the cause of prison officers, and I will continue to do so. So I just want to congratulate all of the recipients of medals and the honorees in particular, because without the volunteers, we would not be able to do much of the work that we do here in terms of rehabilitation.
During the parade, Coral Bernadine and Jeanette Ann Lewis were conferred the Humanitarian Award. Some 13 prison officers were recognized for 15 years of service and awarded the Barbados Service Medal of Honor, 9 with the 1 clasp to the Barbados Service Medal, and some 77 were awarded the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal. Superintendent of Prisons, Lieutenant Colonel John Nurse, called for similar recognition of prison officers like what's afforded to those in defense.
Management of the service intends to submit to you a proposal asking that, similar to the Defense Decorations Regulations 1985, that we too can have some mechanism to adequately and appropriately recognize meritorious and efficient service and make provision for various levels of commendation for the prison service.
Lieutenant Colonel Nurse says Dodds Prison remains a beacon in Latin America and the Caribbean and recognized the work of his team, especially 20 new correctional aspirants.
Already, they have begun to show the level of dedication and commitment necessary to create the platform for outstanding careers as prison officers. My sincerest hope is that we will receive the authorization shortly to have these persons continue to work and be appropriately rewarded financially.
3 members of the differently abled community are the recipients of this year's Pride of Workmanship Awards. They are cashier at Carlton and A1 Supermarkets Barry Weeks, artiste Junior Howell, and dancer Patrick Ford. The 3 were recognized at a ceremony hosted by the Vocational Committee of the Rotary Club of Barbados at the Hilton last night. Barry is a polio survivor. Junior lost the use of his legs after being involved in a motor vehicle accident at the age of 11, and Patrick was born without legs. Rotary officials say the 3 outstanding men continue to bring joy to all they interact with on a daily basis. Well, steady progress is being reported in Barbados as efforts to woo Chinese continue to the island. Lisa Broom reports.
In order for small economies like Barbados to remain buoyant, there must always be new and innovative ways to tap into international markets. The Chinese economy is currently ranked second behind the US, but all predictions indicate that by 2020 it will move into the top spot. It also has a spending power of $10 trillion. And now Invest Barbados is marketing the island as a lucrative investment opportunity here for the Chinese market. For just over a year now, the task of promoting Barbados as an investment hub has fallen to Victor Hu. He's been working with entities like China's Ministry of Commerce and the Chamber of Commerce to explain the advantages of investing in Barbados.
We've been doing this work for just around a year, so we need it's early stage. We need to really create a kind of awareness, to do more promotions, to attend a lot of events, and to work along with, as I said, the intermediaries, the accounting firm and law firms, try to generate interest. So we've been talking with some potential companies, like power plants, some other infrastructure companies already, talking with head office.
According to Mr. Hu, Barbados' network of double taxation agreements will work in its favor.
Barbados, has a tax advantages. It has, double tax treaties with around 28 countries. So particularly for Chinese companies, if they are investing in North America and Canada, I mean, Barbados is really a gateway, to invest and by setting up a company in Barbados.
He says the plan is to target Chinese business people interested in agriculture and the financial services sector.
Yeah, I think Barbados is well known, in terms of tourists, destination for, visitors. But maybe global, in China still, it's quite a long distance for people to travel. And of course, I think for a visa, I think people need to understand how to get a proper visa to go. And also, people, we are now working with embassies, try to work along with other countries in the Caribbean area, because people won't go and visit just for such one single country for such a long distance. So we are trying to work with our partners, even the neighboring countries, to encourage investors, potential visitors, to make the trip along with other purpose.
He also explains what he thinks will be needed on Barbados' part to attract investors.
We need to work very close with Chinese government and to promote a high level of visits, sign MOUs, and at government level there should be business delegations. I know Chinese embassy has been set up in Barbados for over 30 years. They are quite active also in Barbados, and some Chinese companies like CSC, China Second Construction, they are already quite, have been there for quite a long time. So they can be our vehicle to attract more, Chinese companies, or also to encourage kind of clusters to come together to travel. And another thing, it might be the media front. We need to promote ourselves to have more media publicity in the local media, like targeting the Chinese business.
Mr. Hu also thinks it is important for the Caribbean to market itself as a major investment hub. He says Barbados will next month be trying to make a favorable impression at the Chinese National Planning Authority Investment Fair, and that authority is responsible for directing Chinese investment outside of the country. Reporting from Beijing, China, I'm Lisa Broom for CBC News.